box 1. Let's just bust this off. Well, there's some gems here. The original, The Evil Dead, a re-release. I remember picking this up from HMV. This is the cut version, the dreaded BBFC got their hands on. I do actually have the forefront video that I got from my granddad. But this, yeah, they released these, all 3 of them came out. I can see number 2 there in a similar style box, which was, these were quite nice. This was the first one I got out of the trilogy myself on VHS as a kid. I'd seen the original, and this is the actual one I picked up when I was collecting as a young kid. Way too young to have this, but not. I really like this film. Being young, I actually saw Army of Darkness first, then I saw the original Evil Dead, and then this was the last one I saw out of the trilogy, so I watched it really back to front. But I always really wanted to see this one, because seeing Army of Darkness and seeing that sequence where they, at the beginning, where they play clips and a little summary of number 2, I thought it looked amazing. I was really excited to actually pick that up, and I loved it. But my favourite is the original Evil Dead 1, because I love the pure horror aspect of it. Driller Killer, I really like this film. It grew on me. I actually picked this up when I was young on holiday, literally in one of those stereotypical situations where it was in a little out the way place. There was like a little convenience store / petrol station. They sold a few videos in the bargain bin, and wow, yeah, managed to pick this up, which I'd seen it on film 4 and tape, but wanted an official copy, and it really grew on me. I liked it. It was a strange one. Howling 5. This was I got this when I was at college doing film studies, because I really enjoyed the Howling films, and this took forever to come out on disc. So for a long time, this was the only version I had of it, the 5th film on VHS. Loved this, the original the TV mini-series, the 2-parter, which is kind of 1 3-hour film. Yeah, I used to collect these as well. There's Terror Vision, the Crypt collection. There was a few good titles on that. The original Friday the 13th was on that, but I've put my VHS sleeve out. The Forefront collection, which I said I have the original Evil Dead on as well. Reanimator, crazy film. I love it. Mad film. I hadn't seen it when I bought it, but I'd heard a lot about it, and it did not disappoint. And yeah, which goes really well with Reanimator, is the Beyond, H.P. Lovecraft's Beyond, From Beyond. It's this is as mad. I think Reanimator is a little bit better, but this is almost as mad, and real fun film. That actually love the effects on both those films. I love practical effects much over CGI. And the another Forefront, The Pit and the Pendulum, a remake with Lance Henriksen. This is a fun little film. 88 Films have put this out on Blu-ray, which I've picked up since. I've got quite a lot of my collection on DVD, Blu-ray, even 4K now. A naughty copy. This film, The Devils. Yes, this is the Ken Russell's The Devils. The reason it's like this is this film was like really hard to get, like ridiculously hard to get. I have got the BFI DVD now, but I had to get this taped off the TV and just do this crap design, because you know that was ridiculously hard. More Forefront, the classic Soldier Blue of Donald Pleasance. This was a brutal, savage western, which I've upgraded again, and yeah, I saw this later down the line, and I liked it. I'd heard a lot about it, and it was a good one. I used to watch a lot of westerns with my granddad, and that one came about. More Terror Vision, The Stand, the series, the TV series, which I watched on Sky One when I was younger, and finally picked this up from HMV later in life, and this is good. It started out great, and I enjoyed it. I do think the ending lost its way a bit, and it disappointed me a little bit. It didn't, you know, the second half got a bit not as good. I didn't enjoy it as much. the original Halloween classic. Actually remember buying this from MBC, the shop MBC that used to be a bit like a HMV store. Well, in my college days at Bedford. There's not a lot to say about this film because it's such amazing. Everyone knows this one and I love it to bits, which is why it had to be in the collection. And I have this very old VHS of number 2, which I brought off the market as a kid, a very young kid, rushed home from the market, and yeah, I watched it straight away that night because I'd seen Halloween, the original, loads of times, loved it, and being young, managed to yeah, get this. How times have changed now. You wouldn't be able to do that anymore. One from my granddad's collection that he left me, a cinema club as well. I used to collect these, got loads of these knocking around. This was a fun movie. The ending was great. It grew on me in time, but I really like this film, and it's recently come out on, I say recently, a little while ago, came out on Blu-ray, which I straight away picked up because I love this film. And these are some old school horrors I love. Prison, Rennie Harlin's film, isn't it? This I used to watch this a lot as a kid. 88 put a cool Blu-ray out. Loved this film. Again, a bit of an underrated film. I don't see it mentioned or talked about a lot, but it's a really fun horror film. Big fan of manga. Used to love Angel Cop. I have got all 6 of these, all 6 episodes. The first sleeve I've actually put up in a frame because I framed some of my VHS cases to put up as artwork. So my first Friday the 13th film is in one as well, which is on the Terror Vision label. And then, but I have got the others of these. I used to save my pocket money and go and buy these. These were like $5.99 for an episode, about roughly a half-hour episode each. I did it with Guyver, and I did it with Angel Cop, and I did it with Crying Freeman. And yeah, I was young. I was way too young, but these were amazing. I was into this, and this was around way before it became as popular as it is now. Everyone talks about anime and manga, but I was a member of the manga club, and I was into this stuff when it was quite rare in the UK. Woolworths used to sell the odd one. There used to be a video store called Playhouse, and Sam Good's Playhouse was great. They had an upstairs department, and that's where they had all their special interest and manga, and these were fantastic. They had a good collection. So there's a few of these. So that was 2. This is episode 4. They've all just kind of been bunged in this box, really. And then we have a few more of these. Number 3, which is this is a great series. These are all great. Every episode is really great. Real heavy. Number 5, real gore heavy. Lots of violence and very cool story and characters. I do highly recommend that. And then there's number 6, which, you know, it doesn't disappoint. This series does go from strength to strength. I don't really think there's any weak episodes. I think the whole thing was great. This is a nostalgic to me. The original Night of the Living Dead in colour. Yes. Believe it or not, I was a kid, and I went to Blockbuster, the old video rental store, and this was $3.99 on their bargain bin to buy, new. And so I grabbed it with my pocket money, and I was like 12 years old, and I watched it, and I loved it. It actually did. This is one of those moments in my history of film where this was quite scary. This beginning scene in the graveyard of Bill Heinzman. So the first time I saw it was this VHS in colour. I actually first saw the film in colour, so, you know, shoot me. But I actually really like the colour version because it's really nostalgic to me, and then brings back some really fond memories of me discovering this classic film. But yeah, I love that. That's great. More Cinema Club, and a double bill this time of the classic great Candyman and Fright Night. Which, this was a fun double bill. Both good films. I slightly prefer Candyman. I do like Fright Night. I know it's got a big cult following of fans, but I really like Candyman. And Thinner, which is again, this is a fun little film. I do like films based off of work by Stephen King, and this is This is quite a dark little tale, and I enjoyed it. First saw this on TV, and then managed to find this at the market. Market in Milton Keynes, where I live, used to be great. Used to be able to go to the market and buy some really good condition VHS is really cheap. A bit of an erotic steam one here, William Dafoe and Madonna. This was an alright film. I actually quite enjoyed this. I really like William Dafoe, though. He's a great actor. You always get a good performance out of him. Children of the Corn. I have the trilogy on Cinema Club. It's the third one, which I enjoyed. I know the ending is questionable with the effects, but I still have a practical effect, and it's still a very fun watch, and I really like this. But it's the weakest out of the trilogy. So yeah, another double bill. The original Salem's Lot, A Return to Salem's Lot. A Return to Salem's Lot doesn't get a lot of mention, actually, but I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed A Return to Salem's Lot. It was a great, fun, like straight to video sequel. The problem with this version of Salem's Lot is this is actually the cut version. This isn't the full length version. This was edited into a movie version from the long TV miniseries slash film version they did. So I first saw this, but it's quite cut. This is like an hour and 40 minutes when actually it should be like 3 hours long, but they obviously cut it to get this double bill going. I actually picked this up from Britannia Video Club. I became a member of that. So I used to get my videos in the mail, in the post. So I started off doing that quite early, which was later to become DVD collecting. The live action version of Fist of the North Star. I love Fist of the North Star, the manga, the animated film. It's one of my favourite all-time animated films. It's one of my favourite mangas. When I was a kid, I asked for this for Christmas, and Santa was very good to bring me this. And I was really looking forward to it. And as a kid, I enjoyed this. But yeah, it's not a patch on the animated film at all, but it's fun, but it's okay. I mean, again, some of this is nostalgic, and I love whether they're great films. I know I'm one to talk because I've made some absolute crap films, but it's a good film. I do enjoy it. David Cronenberg is one of my favourite film directors. I love Crash. It caused the real stir in the UK, particularly where, you know, they tried to ban it, and there was it got kicked out of Westminster and things like that. But yeah, I followed Cronenberg from a kid for years. I remember when this came out. I remember the controversy, and this has just gone strength to strength to me. This film's, I loved it when I first saw it, and I continue to appreciate and get more and more from this film. It is a great film. Not for everyone, I know. Very dark and explicit content to some, but compared to what's out on the indie scene, not so much now. But Arrow's new 4K edition is really good at that as well. I obviously got that and upgraded. fun movie. It's great fun, to be honest with you. Remember young Courtney Cox. I used to be a big Masters of the Universe fan as a kid of the series, the animated series, and this is just great. This is gold. This was very fun film. Talking of Cronenberg, like I was saying, I have a great old video box here. So you got Rabid, The Brood, and Shivers. His early works. This was a very cool. I really like this box set. I picked it up from HMV with pocket money, believe it or not. You know, you got Rabid. I've always loved this case. I love Cronenberg's early work, but I do think he grew strength from strength. Like I say, Crash, I think is better than these films, but these were great early works from him. The Brood, I enjoyed it, but again, I appreciate it more as I'm older. I revisited this recently on the BFI player that I've got, and I must say I enjoyed it a lot more than I used to. I used to think this is one of the weaker ones out of the set, but actually seeing it again, you know, mature viewing and all. Shivers is a fun film. I think Rabid is my favourite out of the box of the three of them, but that's good. The original Star Wars trilogy, but these are the ones that have been messed around with later in life with CGI. These have the CGI inserts, which caused a lot of controversy, I know. So you've got the the original 3, but the mid 3 in the series, presented in these old school. Well, these were much more of a US American sort of style of video case. In the UK, these weren't such a thing. Controversy for the director at the moment, as I'm filming this, but I really like Hardware. I thought it was a great indie film. Really like this film a lot. The effects, the style, the lighting, the editing, this is a whole good package. But again, I know that's hot stuff at the moment. Fond memory of this film. I grew up with my granddad watching films. My granddad, Bill, was massively into films. He loved Clint Eastwood and westerns and John Wayne. So he got me into these. So, you know, nostalgic value. Really enjoyed that one. Fun film. Halloween H2O, when the slashers revived themselves in the late 90s. They had a resurgence. Like things like Jason X and the franchise is coming back. I like the Halloween films. This is okay. It's not one of my favourites. I prefer many others in the franchise over that one, personally. Crazy series, Phantasm. Love the Phantasm films. They are very unique and odd and offer all kinds of fun adventure times. So yeah, great set. The old special editions, when VHS was getting revamped and marketed, and then DVD was on the horizon, they were competing. Fantastic film. I really like this packaging. This was a Christmas present many years ago when it first came out. And you start getting actual extra features on VHS, which you don't even get extra features on some DVDs these days now. Love this edition as well. Another Christmas present I got, which this is one of the greatest films ever made. I know it's said a lot, but I love this film. It's an amazingly made film, an amazing story, and the way it's told. And again, this is just a work of art. And this version comes with a massive feature-length documentary, which is another really good add-on to this set, because the documentary was really interesting, full of a lot of information. Saving Private Ryan. I like these cardboard sleeve the boxes were really quite nice at the time, but not so robust. This was a Christmas present, and my cat ripped presents out from under the tree and nearly got this one back in the day. My favourite war film. Saw this at the cinema. This is one of my favourite war films of all time. I really like this film. Amazingly realistic, very strong, powerful movie. Back in we go. Trash movie. Pretty crap, to be honest. Not a lot to say about this. Not seen it for many years. Did watch it. Yeah, it was forgettable at that. Fun action film. This was left in my granddad's collection I inherited. Yeah, great fun series of films. I think they are mind-numbing fun action movies. Not a lot to them, but very fun. I picked this up from the market. Years I looked for this. The advert for this film, the trailer, used to be on so much. I used to watch it. Looked amazing, and I finally got round to getting it and watching it, and it weren't bad. I don't know if it quite lived up to the excitement I'd got myself in as a kid. Kept seeing the trailer and thinking it was going to be this and that, but it's I would like to revisit and see it. It's been a long time since I've seen that. But this, in fact, this is a video I used to watch all the time, in which that trailer was on. I adore this film. I used to always talk about this film. No one ever seemed to know what it was or used to know about it. It really was underrated here in the UK. Incredible. Scream Factory released a US Blu-ray that I jumped straight on. And then now we have an 88 Blu-ray released in the UK, which again, I've got both these Blu-rays because this film is amazing. I love it. I watched it young as all of these videos really, but it stuck with me. I mean, it just from beginning to end. I followed the characters, the story. It was such a well told film, and you know, for an indie little film, and I know it had later in life looking into this, I know this had some serious production problems as well, and not as always with these films, not an easy ride of getting made and that, and they class it as kind of an unfinished film. But this, to me, this is like a little masterpiece. I love that film loads. It was one of my favourite films of all time as a kid growing up, to be honest with you. More Cinema Club, Children of the Corn 2. I said about having the trilogy. Now this is a I love this one. Out of the trilogy, I think this is the best one. There's some great scenes in this, particularly when the doll's getting stabbed up and the guy's bleeding out everywhere, crazy stuff. And then the original Children of the Corn, which is not a bad film at all. I enjoyed that. Loved the sequel, like the first one. This is a film that I really need to upgrade onto disc, but it's not exactly something easy to get here in the UK. In the Mouth of Madness. I haven't seen it for a while, but a great film. Picked this up. There used to be a really cool like used video store shop in Bedford where I was studying film, and they used to have a lot of the big box ex-rental stuff there at not bad prices. When DVD was taking off, there was you had to pick up some bargains. Cherry Falls, which is you know, it's an alright fun little slasher film. It's average Joe stuff. The Dark Side of the Moon, a market pickup, a bit of a blind buy to me because it looked interesting. Did really enjoy it. And recently, the other year, got an Unearthed Films release on Blu-ray, which obviously I picked up because as with all my indie B movies, I normally really like them, probably more than a lot of the mainstream stuff. So yeah, and that's a fun, quirky little film. And nearly at the end of this box now, we got The Negotiator, LA Confidential double pack. And yeah, The Negotiator was an interesting film. The LA Confidential, this was a strong film. This was a really good film. I really enjoyed this film. Great performances, but again, controversy with you know, Kevin Spacey being in it. And yeah, this weren't a bad film. Another Kevin Spacey film makes the double pack. But it was an interesting film. It's a film I don't see a lot about anymore, actually. Hot stuff at the time, but kind of fell into a bit of obscurity. And a great film, Sleepwalkers, another Stephen King adaptation, but of a really good film which Eureka recently put out on Blu-ray, which I picked up, obviously. But this great movie. So not a bit of a mix and match box, but not a bad one.